I like the idea of getting away from the group for a while. Nothing personal, but just the idea of working totally on your own, where you're in charge of all the recordings and all the writing and all the instrumentation and the production. Like a sort of little Hitler figure. That's what I'm... Touring certain ways is exciting. Doing what I'm doing, going all around the world in 2 months, that's good because it's hitting home while it's hot, really. You know, like you're getting out there and you're doing it all in one go. Whereas when we've toured in the past with Ultravox, it goes on for like 6 or 7 months. You know, you start a bit and you do a couple of months in Britain and Europe, and then you sort of stop for a couple of weeks, and you another couple of months, and you know, and then you stop, and before you know it, you spent nearly 3/4 of the year touring and singing the same songs and doing the same set, and it gets to be a bit tedious at that point. So I think if my idea, I've got a lot of theories on this touring. When you shorten it all down and compress it and go out there and just go yes and splash all over the world and have a great time, it's good because I know fine it in December when the tour's going to finish. We're doing a big concert in Wembley. It's the final concert we're going to do. It'll be as fresh then as it was from the day we started because we haven't had enough time to get bored of it.
The disadvantages are, obviously, at all times you have to remember it's not your show. It is Midge, your show, and therefore you very much take second place.
You're fitting in the spaces left by the main band in terms of time allocation, that kind of thing. Sound checks can vary from, might get anything up to an hour to no sound check, or the other night in the Dominion Theatre, it was so late that we barely had enough time to get the gear on stage and then play. We nearly hadn't got enough time to get it all on before we were due to actually go on. You do get nervous first gig, the first gig tour of the tour. That's always a bad one.
I mean, our first ever show was with Tears for Fears, was in Brussels.
That was the third ever gig you'd ever played in your life.
Yeah, I'd done a couple of local things before we were signed.
And it was in front of how many? What was the audience?
3,500. And we just went on, and it was a nightmare. Horrible.
Please let it finish.
How's it for width?
Take it in a bit.
Yeah. Just drop it a bit. I always end up on a cutting room floor anyway. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay, next!
What are the bits that you most enjoy about touring then?
I've got to say the performance side of it. I hate the travelling side. I find that really tedious. You know, sit in a car for 5 hours like I did today. It's boring, you know, because you can't do anything in a car. You know, you sort of play about with the car phone and try and think of people to call up, and then you sort of put on a new compact disc and, you know, try and find a radio station somewhere up in the Pennines. It's not easy, you know. But you get bored though. I find it very tedious. I like to keep myself occupied. So I drive most of the time. I quite enjoy that. Sound check is the key thing to getting a good sound on the performance. You've got to check all the individual instruments. Each musician's got to check his guitar or drums or whatever it is, his keyboards. So once you've checked it all out and it's all working okay, you play through 2 or 3 numbers so that each individual musician can hear the band balanced through his monitor speakers. Then when you walk on stage at night, you know that your guitar is going to be at the right level and you know that your voice is going to be okay. And more often than not, you don't have to change it.
After a fashion, after a fashion, after a fashion. Hey ho, you wear it well. After a fashion, after a fashion. That one. Hey ho. Hey ho, hey ho, you were it.
It's really interesting seeing behind the scenes, isn't it?
Like a crocodile